There's high schools that don't look like high schools. Those guys don't look like high school football players. Look at 76. Honestly, look at that guy. That guy looks like he ought to be walking into the NFL for the Chicago Bears, John. Holy crap. Mater Dei, is that right? Or who we got there?
The #1 ranked high school football team in the
entire
country, sending out a receiving core of not 1, not 2, but 3 top 60 players in the class of 2026.
Of the top
and when
60
you hear
players
this,
in the country.
From the student section pregame, there's only one thing left to do. Mater Dei traveled all the way from California to go up against one of Florida's finest, St. Thomas Aquinas. And it was the firepower of Mater Dei being put on display in
they weren't going to roll over.
Five-star Ohio State wide receiver commit Chris Henry
Mater Dei, John, I think
he's already Ohio State commit.
And on the next possession, he showed off
the ballers. I mean, look at the size of the guy. Look how he adjusts. Look how he gets the ball and uses his hands and the whole thing. I mean, all the things you're supposed to know how to do, but not a lot of high schoolers know how to do that. And by the way, Mater Dei, John, I think, I'm trying to think if he played there or not, but Palomalu, I'm pretty sure he did. I think that's where he started his career in high school too. Look at that big son of a gun.
I mean, look at the size of these kids. But St. Thomas Aquinas, unbelievable. I mean, they came roaring back.
Yeah. They came all the way back. I think they still lost, though, right? But they gave it a really good fight, and that's impressive, John. These kids in high school are at a different level than they are than we were. That's for sure. Coming out of high school, and we, back, in the early '80s, late '70s, early '80s, how many places even had a gym in their high school? They kind of did. They had a thing here and a thing there, but it wasn't anything like what these guys got. I mean, it wasn't Buford, that's for sure. All right, John, let's stick with that, but let's stick now to the next level of what that was, which is all those players that are going to Ohio State and Michigan and Minnesota and California and Stanford and everywhere else. I got one for you. Who is some of the dark horses that are out there for college football to get into the playoff? And I think this one's kind of fun. And here's my 2 SEC schools, Oklahoma and Missouri. And you're going to look at me and go, what the hell are you talking about, Missouri? They're not going anywhere. First of all, their schedule in the SEC is very favorable to them. And secondly, Brady Cook, the quarterback who was outstanding last year in the SEC for Missouri, is back for this year. So I think those guys are a real possibility, along with Oklahoma. Oklahoma lost a lot of people. They can reload pretty good. Plus, they ended up getting the quarterback from Washington State to come there, John Mater. He's supposedly everything that everybody built up about him. They all absolutely love him. My buddies down in Oklahoma tell me how good these guys look. So those two, we talked about Illinois the other day. I just wanted to throw out again that I think when you've got your quarterback returning and Bielema is your coach and you were 10-3 last year, I don't know. You usually probably get a little bit better if you've still got the same quarterback, and I think that's why those guys got a shot. I mean, and they got a shot at Michigan. They got a shot at Ohio State. They've certainly got a quarterback down there who's got more experience than either of the guys at Ohio State, that's for sure, and Michigan. So, it's not all about the quarterback, but sometimes it's kind of close to all about the quarterback. Big 12, Iowa State, they already played a game they won. And in the ACC, John, Miami. They're playing Notre Dame. I love the fact that they're actually playing a real football game. They're playing against each other, and that's going to be a huge one. But Carson Beck is now the quarterback down at Miami. He got paid something for $6 million, whatever the hell he got, John. I mean, it's just amazing what they're doing. But those are some of the names of the schools. Is there anybody who did I miss, or who do you think is out there? Because we all have Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, you kind of go through and then you're kind of filled up, right? It's just the way it is. I think some of those schools might be missing the playoff, quite frankly. We'll have to see.
Well, the #1 dark horse for me, Pete, is Miami, and it is because of Carson Beck, but it's also because of what they did to Florida last year. I mean, these Miami kids have that same chip on their shoulder, Pete, that the kids had, in the 80s and in the 90s. And then they kind of fell out a little bit. But I think Miami's back. And with a quarterback like this and the sort of receivers that Miami always recruits, I think this could be pretty interesting. And you're also right about Iowa State, because they traveled to Dublin, Ireland last week. Obviously, a lot of distractions for both them and for Kansas State, but they came out on top. And the coach showed you a lot when, like you and I said Monday, he went for it to keep the ball away from Kansas State, because Kansas State's like, go ahead, go for the field goal, because if you make it, we're still possibly beating you, because that's only giving you a 6-point lead, and we're going to, run down the field. But instead, he went for it, got the first down, ran out the clock, took 3 knees, and just like Travis Kelce, Pete.
It's a great. I'll tell you what.
3 knees, Travis.
He's a great a coach, Matt Campbell, and I was lucky enough to do a game before he went to the big time. He was at Toledo, and I'm watching the guy, John, just going, who is this guy? This guy's really good. And why is he not already at the next level? Well, he went to the next level at Iowa State, and he's built a pretty good power down there. They're a ranked team year after year now. I'll tell you what, pretty interesting. And Big 12 has better football than they get credit for, in my opinion. That's
Pete, Brock Purdy went to Iowa State.
Of course, yeah.
Just saying.
By the way, we got a comparison for Purdy, sort of. My Golden Gopher quarterback who just went to the Vikings, well, he made the 53-man roster, John, and he's right now one of the backups. I think he's, QB3. He might slide up to QB2. But really fun to see what he was able to do during camp. And he showed off his arm, and he's kind of a Purdy type guy, right? I mean, he's late to free agency type thing, and he made the football team. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I got this one for you, John. In the NFL, who is the team that you look at as the biggest turnaround team in the NFL this year? And I made my decision in about that fast. And there are more than one, but this is the one I decided to go. The Tennessee Titans. And here's why. They got a new coach. They've got the number 1 pick in the entire draft, Cam Ward at quarterback, who, by the way, I know he's a rookie, and everybody's like, well, how good can he be, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll tell you what, John, the kid's a great athlete. He's got a great arm. He's very intelligent. He does everything he does it to perfection, it seems like. And, oh, by the way, last year, John, number 2 in defense in yards per game. They gave up about 300. Number 2 in passing. So if these guys on the defensive side can give him an opportunity, this is a 3-14 team. Sounds a little bit like the Washington Commanders last year, huh? They got the right quarterback. They got the right receivers. By the way, he's got great receivers down there. But I really think that Tennessee could be that team. I think they could be the Washington of this year. So I'm looking for them to actually get into the playoffs maybe. And maybe they make a deep run, kind of the way Washington did. People might forget this, but Washington was a game away from the freaking Super Bowl, for crying out loud. So that's the way I picture Tennessee as right now. But there's others out there too. What do you think?
Well, after a spectacular rookie year, I'm thinking maybe Houston, Pete, because their quarterback, of course, did have that spectacular year as a rookie. And then the next year, sort of so-so. He had some good games, but they weren't stopping people like they have to. And as you always say, you can score points, great. You got to be able to stop the other guys from scoring. And that's why I like your pick with Tennessee, because they can stop guys. Mm-hmm. And under the new coach and so forth, it always kind of lights a fire under a little bit of everybody, because it's a new coach. So you've got to prove yourself all over again. It's not like you got to make the team, but it's like that guy wants to see that you really have the desire to be out there. And I think that'll be big for Tennessee this year. But again, Houston, I'm very much like their odds, their chances, Pete. And unlike a 3-14 team, they're a team that was like 50-50 that's about to perhaps go to that next level. And let's keep an eye on them.
I like it. I think that's a great pick too. I mean, when you've got a quarterback that good and a coach, I don't think he gets nearly enough credit for what he's been able to accomplish, John. He came from the Niners, came over there, and all he's done is convert this team into a very competitive team, and a rookie year, phenomenal team. And I think they can get right back to that. Sometimes you get the sophomore slump. It's kind of what they got last year. I like Houston a lot. I agree with you.